Well, this is my second year sewing for Project Dress a Girl. Last year I showed you how I managed to use a gorgeous fabric that was a little bit sheer and still made it work. And this year I'm going to show you how to use a free pattern to do something that I have not been seeing a lot, and that is to make little dresses with long sleeves. Well, hello and welcome. I'm Vox, and this is my creative space where I share with you all of my sewing and general crafting shenanigans. And today I'm here to share with you everything from how to download and sew the free Daria dress from Vikisews and make only 3 little modifications to make it fully compliant with rules and guidelines for Project Dress a Girl. And what rules and guidelines are those, you ask? That is a great question. So let's just take a minute to hear from Vikisews herself, the founder of Project Dress a Girl, and she will tell us everything that we need to know. And of course, if you heard it all before, I'll leave a timestamp down below so we can skip ahead.
I'm Mari from Vikisews, and I'm the founder of Project Dress a Girl, the month-long event where we all sew dresses for girls living in extreme poverty. All of the dresses that we're making need to be able to slip over a little girl's head without any kind of fasteners, all except fabric ties and elastic. You can use those too. Now you can sew any size, up to a size 12, but please make sure that your fabrics are all natural fabrics. They can be a blend, so if you've got a blend that is mostly natural, that's okay. But do make sure that your fabrics are not sheer. And if you by chance happen to have a sheer fabric, go ahead and line that. And while we're talking about fabrics, let's avoid any of those cartoon character themes like Disney characters and the like. No words on your fabric, because we don't know where these dresses are gonna go and what language they speak. No country specifics like flags or holiday themes. And please, no pillowcases. Don't waste your precious sewing time making a dress out of a pillowcase that won't get donated. No one wants that to happen. Do include at least one pocket on your dress. The more the merrier. They're the perfect place to place your Project Dress a Girl label or your Dress a Girl Around the World label. My favorite place is to put it right on the little shoulder right there. You can get these labels right here, the Project Dress a Girl labels, over on my website. The sales from these labels do help with the event cost. Anything that is left over ends up getting donated to Dress a Girl Around the World. But of course, you can also use this label that you can get from Dress a Girl Around the World. And this year, I'm really hoping that we can hit that 7,000 mark so that way we can help 7,000 little girls. We keep track of all of the dresses that are getting donated, which means that you, my friend, you need to let me know how many dresses you've made for a donation. And you can do that one of two ways. You can either post your picture on Instagram using the hashtag Project Dress a Girl 2024 and tag me at Vikisews4Curves. If you're not on Instagram, no worries. Just send me an email to projectdressagirl@gmail.com and my team will be happy to record your final numbers. Now, if you're wondering, well, Mari, how do I actually collect these dresses? I've got you covered. You can either find a local ambassador who has opted in to receiving dresses from this event. And if you don't have a nearby ambassador, feel free to ship me your dress. If you have any questions or want any details, go and check out the kickoff video over at Vikisews. You can also send an email to me at projectdressagirl@gmail.com. And by the way, in case you haven't done it yet, make sure that you subscribe to this video right down there. Check out those little buttons down there. Subscribe, hit that bell, and turn on all of your notifications because you don't want to miss any of the amazing videos that this amazing YouTube creator is making for you. I mean, you really don't want to miss another dress, do you? So go and hit that subscribe button. Bye.
And thank you so much, Mari, for hosting such a great event. Now let's talk about our pattern. I'll leave a direct link in the description straight to the website where you will see the Daria dress by Vikisews. This will appear in Russian because the pattern is on the Russian instance of the Vikisews website, but if you're using Google Chrome, anywhere where you can see text, if you right click with your mouse, you should have an option to translate to English or to the language that you have in your computer. Then if you scroll down, you'll see all of the sizes that are available to download. You can choose as many sizes as you want and add them to the cart to complete your purchase for free, of course. I'll add an image right here of all of the sizes that are available. It goes from 3 to 13 years old, and you can download, as many of the sizes that you would like to sew. I will be sewing today the smallest size available, so I'll take you to the table so we can see our pattern. So after downloading and printing your pattern, you should have the following pieces. We have the bodice back, the bodice front, the facing for the back, facing for the front. We have a little sleeve, and we have the skirt pieces. Just a few notes because everything will be in Russian. The front piece, you can see this inscription right here. It means that it's supposed to be cut on fold, and the same for the front facing. You can see right here it says on fold. The back facing and the back piece are supposed to be cut in two. So this is cut two, cut one on fold, and cut one on fold. For our sleeve, you're supposed to cut 2 sleeves, of course. Don't forget to mark the notches. And the skirt pieces, let's just put this aside. For the skirt pieces, you'll have 2 pieces. And which one is which? Well, the longer piece is the piece for the back, and the shorter piece is the piece for the front. So we have a little bit more gathering at the back, and both of them you're supposed to cut on fold. I have already cut my fabric. Let me just give you a quick walkthrough of the materials. I have cut 2 sleeves. I have the bodice front cut on fold. I have 2 pieces for the bodice back. Here it is. And this is a cotton chambray that I'm using for the top of the dress, and I have this nice blue, darker blue for the skirt pieces. I have cut out all of the pieces for the facings, the front facings again on fold. I cut the fabric and the interfacing, and the back facing again the fabric and the respective interfacing. We also will need a little bit of strip of interfacing, can be only 3/8 of an inch or a centimeter, so that we can interface the shoulders of the bodice front and bodice back, because this will add some durability to those seam lines. Now let's talk about the 3 little modifications that we need to make the pattern compliant with Project Dress a Girl. Modification number 1, I have here the skirt pieces. Again, the longer one is the back, the shorter one is the front, and this will be gathered to the bodice pieces. Any size that you're sewing, the only thing that we need to pay attention to is that it needs to be a little bit longer. So I'm sewing, for example, the smallest size. All of them, the pattern is drafted for it to be about knee length, and we want to extend it a little bit so it's below knee length. My piece right here, it includes the seam allowance, which is 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter all around, and here is on fold. The piece measures 8 inches or 20 centimeters, and I want to extend it by half. So if it is 8 inches or 20 centimeters, I want to extend it by 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and this will give us a good piece so that it is below length. And when we do this modification for the front and for the back. The second thing that we're going to do is not exactly a modification. We need to add a pocket. I will be adding 1 patch pocket at the front, and you can use any template that you already have and that you like. Mine has 6 inches or 15 centimeters by 6 inches and 3/8, I believe that's how you say it, 6 inches and 3/8 or 16 centimeters. And this is my template that I'm using for this size as a patch pocket. And the last thing that we need to sew the little dress is 2 little strips of fabric that we can use as a closure for the back, because we're not using buttons. Mine are for this size 30 centimeters long, that's 12 inches, by 4 centimeters wide, which is about 1.5 inches. My conversion may not be the best, so use the width that is most suitable to you. So step number 1 before we start sewing is to apply the interfacing to the back of the facing pieces, and to the shoulders of our bodice pieces. When applying the interfacing to the edge of the bodice pieces, just remember, if you're using 3/8 of an inch interfacing, don't apply right to the edge. Leave a little bit of space at the top so that when you stitch, it can catch the interfacing as well. The one that I'm using is actually 5/8 of an inch or 1.5 centimeters long, so I will have no issues. And for the next step, I'm going to work on the strap pieces. To do this, I will make sure that I'm facing the wrong side. I'll fold one of the edges a little bit to the inside, about 3/8 of an inch, and I will press. Now I'll take the piece and iron both of the sides to the inside. This way the raw edges will be inside the strap and not be seen. First I'll do it on one side and then I'll do it for the other. And here are both strap pieces ready to be sewn. On one of the sides we have folded the raw edge to the inside. This will be the one that will be facing the outside, and the raw edge will be sewn inside the facing, between the facing and the bodice pieces, so it will not be seen. Now let's go and finish this in the sewing machine and then we'll save it for later. Here are the straps straight out of the sewing machine. One of the sides that we folded to the inside, there are no raw edges. The other side with the raw edges will be encased in the bodice, so it will not be seen. Now we can put this aside and we'll use them later. Next, I'll work on the back pieces. I have the two pieces facing me with the wrong side, and you should have a notch at the back. I have it marked with the pen so you can see it better. So I will first serge the back pieces and get them finished in the serger. Then I'll bring them together, pin, and I'll sew all the way up to the notch. After sewing and serging the back seam, iron it all the way up, turning all of the seam allowance to the back open, including the area after the notch. And then from the right side it should look something like this. Now I'll work on the front piece. I have marked with the heat iron off pen, so it will come out with heat from the iron, and using this quilting ruler I have marked 10 centimeters or 4 inches using the armholes as guidelines. Used 10 centimeters or 4 inches down. And this line will be a guideline to sew my pocket. If you look at it, I have also marked here the middle so I can align the pocket, and I also prepared my pocket piece. I have ironed all the seam allowances to the inside. They are also serged. This way they will not unravel, and I have marked on the bottom piece, I have marked as well the middle, so I have a little notch right there. I will align that little notch with the notch or the middle that I've marked on the fabric like this, and now that is aligned I will sew on the inside using this line as a guide, and I'll be right back. And now a nice press of the pocket, because you can see the line from the pen disappeared with the iron. And also I forgot to mention, but I had to stitch the top before, of course, and the serged edge is flipped to the inside and is now secured by that stitch, and the bottom is also secured. So now I just have to sew the sides to finish the pocket. So my pocket is now finished. Of course, if you have a better technique than mine to attach the pocket, please do so. I have done these little triangles at the top to help the pocket withstand some, wear and tear. Now we'll grab the back piece and we will match them at the shoulders and stitch. After stitching and serging your shoulder seams, iron both of them to the front. And now I'm thinking about the placement for my little label for Project Dress a Girl. And some people add it in the actual pocket. On my previous one I put it below. This one I will put it right here on top of the pocket. And with the label now attached on a very visible place, time to work on my facing pieces. I have already pre-serged all of the edges of the facing pieces and I can now sew them with wrong sides together, like this. Now grabbing our bodice piece, we will get as well the little straps that we've prepared earlier and put aside, and we need to baste them onto the bodice so that it is then caught when we're sewing the facings. I have marked with my pen, I'll put an image here so you can see, from the neckline down I've marked 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch, and I have pinned the strap there. I will now get it basted, just to make sure that it is correctly in the right place to be caught by the facing. Here is the facing piece completely pinned around the neckline of our bodice, and the way that we're going to stitch this is we're going to start on one end going up, then here we're going to stop at 1 centimeter from the top, pivot, go all the way around the neckline, stop again 1 centimeter from the edge, pivot, and then go down 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch all around. Our facing is now completely sewn again, so through the back, all the way up, around, then down again the other side. It is done. Now it is a good idea before we turn it around to cut the bulk here at the edges like this. And I will now clip all around the neckline because this is a curve before we turn it all the way around. So at this stage it's a very good idea to give it a nice press, pressing the collar towards the seam allowance, because the next step will be to understitch, and we're supposed to understitch the collar to the seam allowance, or the seam allowance to the collar, about right here, about 0.2 millimeters from the stitch line, and stitching always to the collar. What's you're going to do, because you cannot stitch all the way around, so this being the back, I'm just going to put it like this so I can probably have a better view. You cannot stitch all the way around all the way to the back. So you're going to start about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters, go all the way around under stitching, and stop again about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters towards the other end of the collar. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. This is how it will look after it has been understitched, and I like to now give a very nice press from the wrong side. I think it is better because we're going to try to make sure that the collar or the facing does not peek through to the right side. So this is just very patiently going around the curve and pressing it. After pressing, our neckline looks very neat, and what we're going to do right now is to secure the raw edges that we still have at the back. So we're going to start stitching at the top, very close to the edge, sew all the way down. At the edge right here, we're going to pivot, go to the other side, and then sew all the way up. And that's the back finish. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. And this back seam is now complete. It is top stitched right there. It's not going to move. We have our beautiful straps. One thing that is really nice to do before going to the side seams is going to the shoulder seam and attaching the facing to the shoulder seam. That way it will not flap to the outside, it will not move. You can grab a hand sewing needle, of course, and do a few stitches right here on the inside so it is attached. The way that I do it is a little bit of the lazy way. I go to the sewing machine and I just do a few stitches in the ditch right here, just a few back and forward to make sure that it is attached, and that way it will not move. So I'm going to do that, and then I will grab my side seams and I will get them stitched and serged, and I will be right back. And now back at the ironing board, let's press those side seams towards the front. There is only one thing left now for us to finish our little bodice, and that is to sew our sleeves. In my sleeves I have already used the same pen to mark the hem allowance at the edge, and that is 3/8 of an inch again, or 1 centimeter. And what I'll do, I'll press this edge so it's pre-pressed and it will be easier for me at the end to finish it, and then I'll sew the size serge. And because this is a woven sleeve, what I'll do as well, at the top there is a notch, the front notch. Between the notch and all around this curve, I will do a round of basting stitches, because that will help us ease in the stitch around the armhole much easier. Because believe me, I tried with the previous dress without doing the gathering thread at the armhole. It is possible, but it is a lot more fiddly. So I really recommend doing a round of basting stitches so it helps us ease in the sleeve to the armhole. So back at the ironing board, my sleeve is now stitched and serged, and I've also added this gathering thread at the head of the sleeve to make it easier to ease it into the bodice. Now, this side seam of the sleeve must be pressed towards the back of the sleeve. How do you know what's the back? There should be a notch that you've cut from the pattern. It is right here, my notch. That notch is to the front of the bodice. So if the notch is here, we will press the seam to the back, right here. So previously I had pre-pressed the hem of the sleeve. I will press it once again, and you could just serge it and then stitch it. The way that I will finish it, my preferred way, will be to try to do a very narrow double fold and then stitch it in place, kind of like this. Can you see? So the hem allowance is 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter. So I will do a double fold of that hem and then stitch it in place. That will give me a better hem, in my opinion, than serging it and then stitching it, because I don't want that to be visible at the bottom of the sleeve. So here is the armhole. The sleeve is on the inside, is right side to right side, and I have pinned all around. As you can see, the gathering thread is right there. It is helping me ease in the sleeve, but there are no gathers. So I will now go to the machine, stitch, then serge, and do the same for the other sleeve, and I'll be right back. So the sleeves are now in. I'm just doing one last thing to hide the serge thread, and I'll pull it using this thick needle, and it is hidden. Here is our little bodice now totally done. It is complete, and the only thing we need to do now is the skirt pieces, and it will be done. So let me put this aside and let's get the skirt pieces. And here they are. I hope this color is correctly visible on camera. Again, we have this, which is the smaller piece, which will be for the front, and the longer one, which is for the back. I will now match both pieces right sides together and sew and serge the side seams. It's going to be fast now to finish the dress, hopefully. Gathering does take a while sometimes, but on this version it's just these two pieces. So yeah, I will pin, sew, serge, and be right back. And I'm back at the ironing board. My side seams have been stitched. Oops, let me just show you. It is stitched and it is serged. I have also taken the opportunity to run a round of basting thread to the hem. The hem is 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch, and I just marked it with a line of basting thread because I was too lazy to mark it with the pen, to be honest. Now I will, with the iron, turn the fold to the wrong side once. This fabric actually finger presses quite easily. What I'll do is I'll finish it with another narrow double fold hem, same as I did for the sleeves, and then I'll run 2 lines of basting thread to the top of the skirt piece. I prefer to do 2 lines of gathering thread because I used to do one. Every now and then the line would snap on me and I would, have to do it again. And also I find that 2 lines at least gives a lot better or a lot neater gathering at the waistline of any skirt. I guess the distribution is also a lot better, so I do recommend going with 2 lines instead of 1. So again, I'll do that and I'll be right back. It is all gathered up and attached to the bodice at the moment. This is the final stitch line. The dress is almost ready, and I'll go to the machine and I'll be right back because I want to show you this version and another version where instead of extending the skirt, I added a ruffle instead, and it looks really cute as well. So I'll do this and I'll be right back. And we are done, you guys. Here is the little dress that we have just completed. It is really, really nice. This pattern is not hard to sew at all. It may just take a little bit, a few more steps because we need to add the sleeves, but all of the steps take us to a very neatly sewn dress that a little girl will for sure appreciate. I'll put some better images and close-up so you can see the dress. Let me also show you the second version that I did. This one at the bottom, I added a ruffle. So at the bottom, at the the area where you would extend the dress, as I showed you in the second one, you take that measurement instead and you cut a ruffle. You just need to make sure that you add some seam allowance at the top and at the bottom, and you can add a little ruffle. This is good for you, and if you want to mix fabrics, for example, I went for a blue as well for the ruffle, but you can mix other colors as you want, or depending on the fabrics that you have to use. And I'm sure that a little girl is going to appreciate a little ruffle. Just keep in mind that that may end up becoming a lot of gathering, so if you're not a fan of gathering, maybe stick with the first version. But yeah, thank you a lot for watching. Please let us know down below, and to me and to the other sewers, are we missing up in any other little pattern that you have found? This is the only one that I know that has long sleeves, so if there are any other ones that are free out there, please share it with everyone so that they can go and grab those ones as well. And if you're new around here, maybe check one of my other videos. I'll put one right here where I show you the dress that I'm wearing right now, and YouTube will have another one right there that you may also like. Regardless of you being new or old around here, thank you a lot for watching this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you on my next one. Happy crafting!